Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a clip of a chiropractor talking about why they don't recommend weight loss for their patients. I'm not sure why a chiropractor would be going into matters related to weight loss or anything like that, but here we are. We're also going to be taking a look at a few bonus clips from this same creator, including one where they say chiropractic school didn't teach me how to adjust larger people's spines, and another clip where they say my own weight loss failure made me a better doctor, so be sure to stick around until the end. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache. Why I don't recommend intentional weight loss.
I had someone ask me recently why I don't recommend weight loss to people, and the biggest reason is that I don't have a long-term ethical solution to shrink someone's body.
And also you're a chiropractor, right? So why would we be talking about weight loss?
And that the research shows that the health-promoting behaviors that are often associated with weight loss, we're going to say eating more fruits and vegetables, having enough fiber, doing some exercise or walking, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep. These are all health-promoting behaviors that are independently helpful for someone's health that don't often result in weight loss. And
yes, those are all very healthy activities. However, being overweight is actually a medical condition itself.
Even if they did it in the short term, and if even if they continue doing those activities, 95% of people that achieve intentional weight loss in the short term, eventually that stops, and 2/3 of those people gain more weight back than they originally lost. So
95% of people fail at intentional weight loss. Okay, so what's the solution?
Gain more weight back than they originally lost. So again, I don't have an ethical way to do it, so I don't offer it.
Okay, so this chiropractor does not recommend intentional weight loss because it's highly likely to fail. And also, they're a chiropractor, I would imagine. I don't know why we would go to a chiropractor for matters related to our weight. That would be funny if she was actually like, your obesity is caused by an obstruction in your L3 vertebrae. And then they just start cracking your back. Next. Chiropractic school didn't teach me how to adjust larger bodies.
We learned technique in adjusting on 20-something-year-old college student bodies. And it wasn't until I got into real practice that I got to see what the real population was like.
Okay, so the average person is much larger than a 20-something-year-old college student.
And I felt like I was vastly undereducated, because once I realized that the average person and the average chiropractic student are vastly different, even in our outpatient.
Okay, so you've encountered a lot more people living in a larger body out there in the real world than you did back in chiropractic school.
Clinics. I feel like it wasn't a great representation for the people who we'd see in real life. We rarely had technique modifications.
That's a good point. All the people that you practiced on were a lot smaller than people you see in the real world, so maybe that wasn't great training.
To help with different size bodies, different abilities, or ages. We had brief discussions, but it wasn't something that was required. I had to figure out how to adapt my technique for the people who were in front of me, and of course I had some help along the way with people I worked with, but it's definitely something that was lacking.
Okay, she said in chiropractic school she didn't have a lot of people that represent the average person to practice on. That seems like a legitimate concern right there. Maybe in chiropractic school they should have some larger people come in to practice on. She actually made a good point in that one. I'm trying to imagine how difficult it would be to crack somebody's body that's morbidly obese. Like, if you can just bend my leg over and shove it down and crack my back right here, what if I were 500 or 600 pounds? Could you bend my leg over and bend it or twist me or do any of the stuff that you're actually supposed to do? Supposed to being a relative term here. I don't think we should go around cracking people's backs. I would love to see back cracking in response to obesity, though. You go in there, you're like, I got this friggin' obesity. It's giving me a terrible time. She's like, all right, lay on the table. She starts twisting some stuff. She's like, how do you feel now? You're like, 10 times worse. Next. What weight stigma actually looks like in healthcare. I don't know why I said that last part like that.
I need to tell you how weight stigma shows up in your practice. It's not always about just being mean or rude to a patient because of the size of their body. It's about actually giving people different treatment recommendations based off their size.
If someone were underweight, would you recommend the same lifestyle changes to them that you would recommend to someone who is categorized as overweight?
And not about what's clinically in front of you. It's about giving a thin person different recommendations than it would be giving a person in a larger body for the same condition.
Well, if our weight is exacerbating our condition, then we might have to tackle it.
It's not having equipment that fits your patients. It's not having chairs that make it comfortable to have a seat. And it's so much more. This week is the start of Weight Stigma Awareness Week, and I'm going to be posting a lot about the presentations that are happening, but check out below if you want to see the presentations for yourself.
All right, the bar for what is considered weight stigma is falling pretty low, I think. Recommending different things for people that have different body types is weight stigma. If a thin person goes to you with crippling knee pain, and a morbidly obese person also goes to you with crippling knee pain, you're going to recommend the same thing. For one of these patients, the crippling knee pain has an obvious cause. For the other, it could be a mystery. So I am still very confused what any of this has to do with cracking my back. Next. Why I stopped telling patients to lose weight. What if they go to you for back pain? I bet that's a very common thing that people go to chiropractors for. What do you recommend to them?
For years, I thought I was helping by recommending weight loss to my patients. Did
you ever actually do that?
But then I read the research. Intentional weight loss fails 95% of the time. Weight cycling can be more harmful than having a stable higher weight.
Okay, so we don't recommend weight loss to our patients because there's a high likelihood of failure. Also, where are we getting the idea that it's healthier to have a higher stable weight than to lose and gain weight?
Weight stigma also causes real problems.
How do you measure that? How is stigma measured? I don't think you can. I think it's a very abstract concept.
And here's what I realized in my practice. If I can help make people feel better right now in the body they have right now, that makes all the difference in the world.
Could you adjust my spine if I were 500 pounds? And how long would the pain relief last?
If they're having mobility issues, what can we do to get some flexibility back, to do adjustments, to...
If they're having mobility issues because of their weight, how can we help them through adjustments without losing weight? Okay, so yeah, we are trying to crack their backs to health.
To work with something at the moment. Why would I tell someone to lose weight and come back when I can help them today?
Well, I wouldn't say lose weight and then come back. I would let them know your weight is what's causing your back pain. I will go ahead and crack your back to give you some pain relief or whatever the hell that does. But just so you know, the constant back pain is due to this. That's what I would let them know. Okay, so she doesn't recommend intentional weight loss because once again, it's highly likely to fail, according to her. Well, I'll tell you one thing, my friend. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So not trying to lose weight will absolutely result in not being able to lose weight. If we at least try, there is a probability that we might succeed. I'm still a little confused why all of this advice is coming from a chiropractor. Are they known for giving lifestyle advice or anything like that? Next.
This may be controversial, but my own weight loss failure made me a better doctor. I'm Dr. Jenny Talbert, and I'm a chiropractor who's been practicing for 15 years.
You've been practicing for 15 years. I love how doctors say that. Like they're not any good yet, they're still practicing.
And I spent the last 8 years completely transforming how I practice. And it all started with my body. So I used to work deep in wellness culture. I mean, diets and supplements and functional medicine and weight loss programs, the whole thing. And I even had my own eating that I didn't recognize because it was celebrated as health.
Okay, so you were formerly entrenched in diet culture.
But when the diets and weight loss programs stopped working for me, even though I was working harder and harder than ever to try to change my body, I started to question what I was doing wrong.
Okay, so you were so deeply entrenched in diet culture that you could not lose weight and started asking yourself what you're doing wrong. Okay, you said you were engaging in unhealthy eating, you were diets, supplements, functional medicine, and weight loss, but you struggled and never lost weight. and started to question what you were doing wrong. And I'm not saying that to make fun of this person. I'm just saying it's funny to try to act like you were so deeply entrenched in this thing and then say that you could never actually lose the weight. So I guess you weren't that deeply entrenched in it.
I started to question what I was doing wrong. But one day I was listening to a keto diet podcast, and someone came on to talk about health at every size. And it was the first time I'd ever heard that it was possible to be healthy and live in a larger body. And honestly, this opened up something in my brain.
Okay, so just hearing somebody say that, you were completely on board. You're like, oh, okay, sure, immediately. You immediately jumped on board with this concept, but not with the prior concept of adhering to diet culture or whatever.
The concept alone was something that I had never really understood or never heard, but it opened up this crack in my brain and it started letting in light.
Okay, so you fell and cracked your head and light started pouring in through your skull. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of casual trepanation. Okay.
That maybe I could just do healthy behaviors and not worry about changing my body size. That crack of light turned into a completely different way of practicing for me.
For me.
And I spent these last 8 years unlearning everything that I thought I knew about weight and health.
I've also unlearned many things in the past years, mostly due to the brain damage.
And then in the process, healing my relationship with my body and completely transforming how I treat patients and care for people.
All because somebody said you could be healthy at every size one time. Okay. I would like to know more about how deeply entrenched you were in diet culture before and how it never resulted in weight loss. And I'm not trying to point that out to be a jerk. I'm just saying a lot of people claim that they were so deeply entrenched in diet culture and now they're against it. But when you look further, they were never deeply entrenched in diet culture and they've literally never done anything like that. Oh, trust me, I was doing diets. I was doing curls. I drank a protein shake one time.
Now I help other providers do the same thing because if this information could save me, it needs to reach every patient sitting in waiting rooms being told that their body is the
I still don't see how this saved us.
problem and that they need to change their weight in order to be healthy and that health is something that is guaranteed. None of this stuff is true.
Well, nobody says that health is guaranteed, but we can put in work to try to be as healthy as we can. That's basically all you can do. You don't just say, this is hard and therefore impossible. I'm not going to try, because then you will have poor health indeed. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so you may as well try.
And I just am so thankful that I've been able to completely shift my practice. But have you ever had a moment like this where something completely changed how you see health?
You said you heard somebody on the radio talk about health at every size. I still don't understand how that blew your mind and completely changed your life. You said it made you fall over and crack your skull and light started pouring out of your skull or some crap. I don't know. It was crazy. And then when you came to, you realized I could be healthy at any size. What was I doing trying to engage with that diet culture? That's a very interesting story, and I'm still pretty confused why a chiropractor would be talking to people about matters related to their weight. Although if I go to you with constant crippling back pain and I'm overweight, I would hope you would at least be like, hey, maybe it's the weight pushing down on your spine, you know? You don't have to engage in medical fat phobia, but you could tell this person that gravity is real, at least. You know, that might be helpful. I will go ahead and adjust your spine to try to alleviate some of your pain, but just so you're aware, gravity is real, so that's what's causing all of this. So personally, for me, I disagree with all of the aforementioned, but what do you think? Leave a comment below. Happy Thursday, everybody. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.